Ladies and gentlemen, we return to Kerbal Space Program, and today we're focusing on Gilly, Eve's awkward potato-shaped rocky moon. We're going to be landing on it today, actually. We've brought two landers with us. They're both back here on the backside of the spacecraft, and of course we'll be trying to land two Kerbals, namely Noonie and Bill. I have done a little bit of rearranging of the crew here, and I've taken out some of the crew members here from the science laboratory, namely Jobald and Guslin, who will be taking control of the ship while we have Bill and Noonie fly off and land on the moon. So, it takes a bit of time to perform all these maneuvers, of course, so we may as well just get started right away. I will be sending Bill down first. Bill is in this capsule right here, I believe. So let's waste no time. First of all, I'm just going to right-click the lander can, control from here, and let us now undock. There we are. We are now undocked and flying freely relative to the Charon. I'm just going to push us backwards a bit here so we can actually control where we're going. Once we get far enough away, I'm going to deploy the solar panels, which is safe to do right about now. So, first of all, we can ensure that we receive power. May as well activate the landing gear so that I don't forget to do that later on. And here we go. Basically, from here on out, it's going to be pretty direct. It's going to be a pretty direct orbital transfer. Or rather, not orbital transfer, but a transfer to the bottom of the ground there. And this, I'm not going to be too picky about our landing location, because it looks like we've actually got a pretty sweet place going on right here. So, first of all, just standard procedures as always. I'm just going to burn... oh, there goes the Charon, floating off and away. Okay, so maybe not the most ideal landing place. It looks like we're heading right towards a sloped surface. I think we can improve upon this by trying to land on the plateau that I see in front of me instead. Yeah, I think we can make this better. Ah, okay, first of all, slow down. I'm going to hit the number 2 button to try to quickly grab all the science that we can at the moment. Material study, except that one. I'm going to keep that. Mystery goo, keep that. Mystery goo, ignore that. Okay, well, I definitely see our own shadow on the ground, which means we're very close to the surface now. And I think I start to see our own lights. So what I need to start doing is slowing down, because I want to hit the ground rather slowly. Now, you would think with really low speed relative to the ground that it would actually be safe to land pretty fast, but the problem is that you would bounce off the surface and start to tumble, and that might break some things. That might break our solar panels, so frankly not really a good situation to be in. Okay, here it comes. Our next major landing. The second landing away from the Kerbal system, the third landing ever on a moon, and the third moon that Bill has visited. Ooh, this is kind of an awkward position. Okay, let's see if we can even this out a little bit. Yeah, the really, really light gravity makes this incredibly awkward. But nonetheless, we did it, everybody. We have arrived in the next landing spot here on Gilly. Oh, my goodness, look at this. Okay, so first of all, let's start gathering some data while we're here. Let's see, reviewed store data. I realized that I did a quick EVA, and I think we can actually transmit that from the surface now, so let's just do that to clear out some space. Is there anything else here that I can afford to get rid of? Not quite. Okay, so now I would say it's about time for us to start getting ready to go. By go, I mean land on the surface and walk around and so on. Explored Gilly. There we go. And just by fulfilling the Explore Gilly contract we did a little while ago, we're now up to 3,000 science. I can say with a fair amount of confidence that we've basically accomplished anything that we can, or rather, most of the science objectives that we can. From the inside of the cockpit that Bill is in, this is what the place looks like. So he's going to have a chance to come on out and take a look. I'm going to quick save before I do, just in case he disrupts anything. So I am stepping out of the vehicle, but I'm going to grab onto it first, just so I can take the data. And just sort of relaxingly drift onto the surface. And we did it! We have put a Kerbal on another planetary surface. So we're pretty lucky. Whoa, okay, look at this. Now, this gravity is the lightest in the game, as you can see. Just by walking a little bit, we have bounced forward. And actually, this puts us in a little bit of danger as well, because if I don't do something about this, we are actually going to fall at a rather high speed. So, we're going to be relying specifically on our jetpack while we're here, instead of walking at all. We're not even really going to be using our legs too much. Here we are. Let us take another surface sample, because we should. An EVA report from the surface, although it looks like it's not really going to give us anything new. And let's plant a flag, because that fulfills another one of the parameters, and it marks the location of where we landed for the first time. What should we call this? Bill's Winter College. No. Cottage, rather. He doesn't study here. I'm just going to be naming places that Bill discovers after himself, because Bill, we can pretend, is a very vain character. Oops, I started walking. Okay, stab it. Wow, actually, you know what? I think that completes all of our contracts. We're completely out of contracts to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remain here on the surface, keep hitting the number 2 button, and make sure that we get all the science that we can transmit first. Scan, seismic scan. Okay, cool. So I'm going to cut ahead and show you the other lander. I'm going to put it somewhere different, and then we're going to show what it's like to actually get back to the Charon from where we are on the surface of the moon. We are here with one of our finest astronauts. This is actually Noonie, and off camera I took the other lander that we had connected to the Charon, and I landed. I put down a flag, and I put Noonie on his own. To give you a bit of an idea, this little blip over here, that's the Selenitech, and if I can find... Oh, there's the Charon way the heck down there. First of all, let's do what we've done on other moons and test our jumping capabilities. So, without doing anything, I'm just going to press the spacebar. Oh my goodness, we are going very high. I don't think we're going high enough to actually escape the surface, or rather to escape the moon, because my altimeter seems to be... Well, no, actually, it is climbing. We are going higher than I thought we would, actually. This is a little concerning. But can you imagine having this capability of jumping in the world? Look at this! Oh yeah, the altimeter started to slow down. So we're going to land on the ground pretty soon. I cannot believe we can actually get this high. We are nearly 300 meter, or rather 200 meters up in the air relative to our to the Stoneship down there, which is the ship that we landed Noonie in the first place, I'd like to add. So let's take a look at the area around us. Pretty neat, am I right? Look at this. Look at all these mountains. Okay, so we need to turn on our jetpack because it's going to take forever for us to actually get down if I don't act here. You know, I wonder, if we actually just flew around in our jetpack, I wonder how long it would take for us to actually fly around the whole planet. Or the moon, rather. Okay, I don't want to go down... I don't want to fall down too hard, because that could have some negative consequences. Oh, this is so cool, though. Okay, but yeah, enough fooling around. That was a lot of fun. And I do seem to have an immense amount of control. But let's get back on topic here. We need to start doing a couple of other things, and we'll have plenty of time to play around on Gilly once we get our Kerbals back home. So first things first, we should take a look out here to see how we're going to rendezvous with this. This is us right here, and here's the Charon. Now, we're basically going to be doing this precisely as ordinary rendezvous have gone on, but on a much smaller scale. This is going to be a little bit tricky, and the reason why is because Gilly actually spins really quickly relative to like some of our other planets, for example. Also, one of the problems we seem to be facing is that our orbits are a bit desynchronized. Because I'm way the heck up here, Stoneship is way up here, and then Charon is way down there. Oh my goodness, we waited for nightfall. Do we have enough electricity for this? I think so. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take a look at where the Charon is. I'm going to see what direction it is going in relative to us. So it's traveling... Looks like it's traveling from west to east. So we may want to do the same thing here. On our nav ball, that little orange stripe there is the north sign there. So if we turn to the east after we start to lift off, we should go in the same orbital direction as it, and then it'll be easier to rendezvous. So I'm going to get going now before it gets too dark. Nudie is already on board, and while our electricity, or rather, we still seem to be getting some direct sunlight, it's best if we start heading out now rather than later, before we start to lose that sun. So let's turn on our RCS and use the H key to lift off. Oh, look at those expanding lights down there. That's pretty neat. Welcome back, everybody, and we are about to reunite the Stoneship with the Charon. Nuni is technically the Charon's captain and has been since its inception, so it seems only fitting to return with him first. Any moment now we should be reconnecting, and aha! There we go! So, now that we've triumphantly returned, let me first reopen these solar panels, because I closed them earlier to maintain their structural stability. There we are. Not that it really makes a difference, considering we're way the heck out here behind Gilly. In fact, I'm just gonna fast forward a bit here so that we don't be in the dark, because dark videos are not fun. For you see, kiddos, dark videos requires a bit more computer rendering, and thus makes my very ancient Macintosh computer that I am not recording on but editing on, die a little bit faster. Let's see, review stored data. Surface sample. We can process this a bit, actually. Let's see what happens. Let's see what else we can process as well. Process the lab. All these science experiments that you see here came directly from the Stoneship mission, because I put every other one of our scientific measurements inside of the mechanical, which is currently sitting on Gilly. So, of course, there's a high precedence to get it back. I'm going to process everything. Material study. Let's see now. The question is whether or not to keep it or transmit it. We already have a ton of science. I'm actually going to keep it. I'm going to keep all of our non-reusables. I might even keep our reusables, actually. And let's just quickly... Oh dear. Oh, no, you don't. You're not getting away that easily, Nudie. You have a job to do. I know how much you like being around Gilly. I know that I've given you the thrill of flying with very little effort. But sir, you have a job to maintain. You are a professional. Let's take the data. Let us take that data as well. Let's see. I also need to grab... What else can I grab on here? I need to go and grab the materials info right here. Wow, I don't like how we're flying away like this. That's kind of nerve-wracking game, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see, I just need to get close enough to actually touch the, for the game to think that I'm touching the, the screen here, which means I sort of have to wedge myself in between a couple things. Come on now. Okay, note to self. Oh, there we go. I want to remove that data. And what I'm going to do is I am going to fly back into the main module here instead of the lander can. That way I can actually keep the data on board the Charon itself and transfer it over to the correct place when we have the chance to. Let's see here. I just need to convince the game to let me grab onto this. Grab it! Whoa! Wow, okay. Game, alright, I see that you're frustrated with me, game. But don't worry, we'll get through this. We are not too far from reaching our goals. The game has been complaining to me a lot lately. Whenever I tried to fly this mission earlier, when it had all of its modules attached to it, the game actually kept crashing. And I'm starting to think that I'm actually a little bit worried that it might cause problems when we actually attempt to, let's see, let's store these 3 experiments and get the heck back inside. Okay, game, I see you're frustrated. I understand that. Anyway, now that we've done that, let's also clean up some modules here, because we took that data out of the Science Junior. And, as a matter of fact, we can also do something else, too. Since we want the Stoneship to return to Gilly and stay here as a permanent resident of it, we can actually take advantage of some of the extra monopropellant that we've brought along with us. And that should ensure a longer lifetime here on Gilly itself. So we transferred some of our fuel over to the Stoneship down here. But there's actually a lot more fuel we can add to it too, without depleting the abilities of the Charon in the slightest. From the initial satellites that we launched a little while earlier, we left 2 completely full monopropellant fuel tanks behind, and each one has its own docking port. The Stoneship also has 2 docking ports too, on the top and bottom of its body. So, if I start by retracting the legs on the Stoneship to allow for docking, and then separate these 2 pieces, we can give 200 more monopropellant fuel to the Stoneship and make the Charon a bit lighter as well. So it'll be easier to get it home. So I'm going to start by quick saving before I do anything, actually. There we go. And now I'm going to undock both of these ports here. Well, yeah, I'll unlock both. There we are. So now all I have to do is I have to grab the, First of all, I need to click the control from here button, and I need to undock right here. Come on, undock. There we go. So, what I'm just going to do is quickly, while I'm in the Stoneship, I am going to press the T button to activate our control here, and turn on RCS to escape from the Charon so that we don't accidentally dock with it. And now what I have to do is I have to go chase down let's see, that's the first docking port, so we're going to set that as a target. Come on now, you can do it. There we go. So now we have 707 monopropellant as opposed to the 507 we had earlier. Now I just need to go and chase down the other one that went flying off in the distance. I'm not quite sure where that went, actually. Theoretically, it should be in the opposite direction of this node right here. So let's travel feet first, or backwards, rather. And let's just go chase after it. Also, with the addition of 4 more thrusters here, that actually gives us quite a bit more thrusting capability too, since we have twice as many thrusters as we did before. And then what's even funnier is that once this whole thing is said and done, we're actually going to have another couple of thrusters too. Okay, here we go, everyone. So, now, first of all, it's safe to open up our solar panels again, so let's do that before I forget. And here we go! The slightly newer and maybe not so improved design of the Stoneship here, now with 2 extra monopropellant fuel tanks. So we have about 200 more fuel than we had before. I know it's not the most efficient thing that we've built, but it's still something, I suppose. And more importantly, it also means that this Gilly, or rather this mission, now has a ton more, a much higher lifespan here at Gilly. We are actually going to be leaving the Stoneship right where it is in this specific orbit. And that's because I am going to see and if we can hold... Oh, what do we have floating up there? Oh, that's the Charon eclipsing us. So I am going to sit right here in this orbit, making sure that we don't go any higher or lower than we already are. Let's check our apoaps and our periaps. Oh, our periaps is not good. We are going to want to burn a little prograde here to make ourselves nice and stable again, because we spent so much time trying to get to that other piece. But the problem is that that particular ejected monopropellant fuel tank that we let go a little while ago was actually going to crash into the surface if we didn't do something about it. So first of all, let's just make sure that our periaps and our apoaps are nice and safe here. Another neat trick that I've learned regarding the game is that if you use the bracket keys, those are the keys next to the letter P on your keyboard, you can actually switch between vessels if they are close enough to one another. So I can switch back to the Charon too. And the benefit to being able to do something like this is that if we do need to do emergency transfers or emergency switches, we can. Okay, nearly there. You can do it. There we go. Man, that is so awkward. It even makes the entire ship roll forward a tad bit. Oh well. We've basically reconnected all the main parts of the ship that are going to be continuing the traveling about from here on out. Let's see here. There's Stoneship off there. It actually seems to be approaching us. I wonder if that's something we should be concerned about. Well, not to worry. We're pretty much in no further more danger than we have been before. Actually, maybe just to be on the safe side, we might want to start to press onwards a bit here. First of all, I'm going to retract the landing legs here, just maybe in the hopes that we can progress here. We're getting quite a significant amount of lag. What's causing this? Is it because we're so close to a whole bunch of different things and they're all trying to render in? It might be. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I am actually going to start this particular bit here by getting out of the Charon system. I mean, not the Charon system, but getting out of the Gilly system and returning to an orbit around Eve. Just enough so that we can escape. Not so much that we start to burn away from Eve. There. Okay, so now we're leaving Gilly and returning to an orbit around Eve. So, as the residents of the Charon, let us say goodbye to Gilly for now. It was a short but sweet visit, and don't worry, because we have Stoneship here, we will always have a presence here on the moon. We might come back someday. I kind of don't think we'll ever send a Kerbal back here, but this place is ripe for the taking with critters, or rather, ripe for the taking with robots, maybe. I've already lost track of Stoneship. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. We're sailing away from it rather fast because it has to play very slowly to stay in orbit around Gilly. There it goes, racing away. And pretty soon we should expect to see, yep, there's the Selenitic way the heck over there too. So we've left 2 orbiters, and it looks like they're going in the opposite directions, interestingly enough. Oh wait, no, they're not. It's just that we're traveling so fast that it looks like it's traveling backwards. But this is in front of the moon instead of behind it. So we're just going to speed up time here a little bit. Watch as the moon seemingly giant, but in fact very small, slowly escapes from our line of sight. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. At long last, we've unlocked every single piece in the game as far as our technology goes. We can unlock no more. And our science is still climbing. We have 1,424 science, which frankly I'm not sure what to do with. Luckily, with our administration building, I might be able to translate some of that science that we're not going to be able to spend into money or reputation. So I'll have to start working on this in a moment. Actually, no, let's just do this now. Since we've already got all the science that we can get, I'm going to start closing some of our strategies right here. Like, we don't need to do the unpaid research anymore. And we don't need to worry about, well, fundraising. I think fundraising is still useful here. Let's take a look at what we can do with our remaining options here. Let's see. Open source tech program. Making it available. Oh, I see. Instead of, what's happening here is that we are regaining some reputation by spending science and making it distributable to the world. So, we shan't be too greedy with it. In fact, I think I can actually bump this up a bit to about 15%. Let's see how well that goes. That should be more than enough to compensate for a fundraising program that we want to do as well. What were our other ones that we wanted to do here? Outsourced, science yields, patent licensing, blah. Okay, well, we'll see how this goes, and if it doesn't work out, we'll figure out some other way to make this work. Anyway, that's basically it for that. Any new missions we can take? Plant a flag on the moon. Oh! Here we go! Explore Jewel. We may as well take that one, because we already have a mission on its way there right now. Come to think about it, that's probably something that we should take care of soon. Let's go check out what we've got so far. So first of all, if you recall, I was trying to get Charon over to a stable orbit around Eve, which I did. So let's go check it out. Here we go. So, the Charon has entered a stable orbit around Eve. A circular, well, fairly circular, maybe not precisely, but close enough for our tastes. The idea is that now the Charon doesn't really have too much to do right now, because, well, we've already committed ourselves to most of the science that we can grab while we're out here based on what we have. So the goal is for the Charon to sit here in orbit for now, to serve as a reasonable location for a rescue mission. And when I say rescue mission, I mean that we have to rescue a Kerbal that we've left on Eve's surface. Munberry, in fact, his name is. And once we're finished grabbing him and putting him back aboard this vessel, we still need to find a way to get ourselves back home. We don't have too much fuel to work with here, but the idea is that since this is a fairly easy location to reach, we will eventually send another fuel tank mission to here, the Charon. So we'll get it all fueled up, and then we'll get it set to go. I've been debating, actually, and I'm not sure if I want to send it home after we refuel it. We could, of course, go back up to Gilly if we wanted to, but we have some more interesting options. While we're here in the inner solar system, there is another place here to explore. Moho is the innermost planet of the system here, and it might be kind of cool to check out. And since we're closer to Moho right now than really we've ever been before, I might refuel for the specific purpose of reaching Moho, and then bouncing back up to reach the planet Kerbal. But of course, that's a work in progress. What I'll probably do more than anything is I'm probably going to take a quick hiatus on the Charon and Eve missions. And the reason why is because I think I want to wait a little bit for biomes to appear. Now, I should mention that I've been recording all of these Eve missions on, like, the last 3 days of my time. It's actually October the 20th, as of this recording. I have no idea what time it's going to be when these recordings eventually get released. So for all I know, the biomes are already out. And of course, before we actually do any of that, there is another mission that we've been putting off for quite a while now. We left it in orbit some time ago. In fact, where... There you are. Way the heck up here. It's the Galileo missions. We have 2 of them right now. The Galileo Diver, which is designed to jump into the body of Jewel. The body of Jewel. And we have the Galileo Station, which is designed to orbit Jewel. But that'll be for next time, because I've basically run out of hard drive space and I can't record anymore for now. So we're going to leave that for now. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. In the next episodes to follow, we will be encountering Jewel. And just to prove to you that I'll be encountering Jewel, let's speed up time, and we shall meet you guys there. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is Ardwig. Stay tuned, and good night.